Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and this may be the last of my tag sale garage sales for the season. It's getting cold, it's getting dark, and a lot of folks that have done things like cleaning out their garages as part of pandemics, or emptying their basements, or whatever they want to do to entertain themselves during the kind of the lockdown. I think most of that stuff is gone, so I'm going to call this one the last of the tag sales, and if something else comes along or another flea market find comes along or whatever, I'm certainly going to let you know. But this one was the result of that. I was passing by a yard sale, tag sale, and just stopped out of curiosity, and we got to talking, and the fellow said, I had asked him if he had any fishing stuff. He said, yeah, he did. He had it in the garage. He wasn't putting it out, but certainly if I could use it, make me an offer kind of a thing. And we did. We came up with a fair price, and we moved on. So here's my box of stuff that could quite literally be the last of my tag sale finds for the season. So let's start with this then. This is a little container, and what I think I have in here is the makings of a Penn Squidder. I certainly have the two side plates. I have two handles. I have the Squidder spool, and the Squidder spool is different from the 150. It has that larger gap here, and that's because of the burring that's in this reel as opposed to the bushing. Looks like I have the bridge, have the reel seat, have the star adjuster, have the cross posts, and it looks like in here, in between all the sawdust and stuff, is some springs, a jack, a yoke, and the gear. So I think I have a full Squidder 140, and I look forward to putting that together, and we'll do that as one of our video projects once I get it all cleaned up. Needless to say, I believe this fellow is doing some woodworking too, because that's clearly what we have here is a whole bunch of sawdust, and it even comes conveniently packaged in that little container there. Next up is an interesting one. I think I'm going to use this for some fun stuff. This is the 306-307 Mitchell Garcia manual, but there's so many things in this manual that people just never take the time to read, right? For example, here's the arbor knot that you would use to put line on a spool, and they'll tell you about Spanish whiplash, if you will, and how to spool your line properly so that you don't get the line twist, right? How to set your drags and so on. So there's always a lot of interesting stuff in here, different knots for fishermen that you want to use. Here's your dropper loop and some other things. So there's always fascinating stuff in these manuals. So if you have one of these, take the time to read it. And I think maybe we'll do a video just to take you through each of those and maybe a couple of examples. All right, next up then is some parts. This is from the 303, which is the left-handed version of the 302. Looks like we have a rotor and a complete bail assembly. Have the side plate. Here's why this one isn't, because we have a broken foot on this. Here's your gear side plate, kind of cool. This is your axle shaft assembly. Probably should have been removed. There's a couple of C-clips here that belong there. Here's your pinion gear and your stud, your handle, your top assembly, and here's some drag washers, which folks tend to not know how to put back together again. I actually keep one of my schematic printouts, which is just how to set the drag washers on the big Mitchell reels, because I seem to get a lot of inquiries about that. So maybe we'll do that. I'm going to search for the body. I may actually have the body. If I do, then I'll make that a rebuild project as well. Okay, one more. Oh, here's the spool that belongs to that. So I think the only thing wrong with that reel then would be the broken rod mount. So then this is kind of a mother load here of stuff. And there's several of these molds. These are the lead molds that you would use for sinkers and the like. This one is a Hiltz. It's Burbank, California. You can always tell them, they always have these kind of almost like a wire insulator kind of a thing for the handles. These are the pyramid sinkers, and this one is in the 1, 2, 4, and 6 ounce sizes. They're always popular to use. We have a little bit of kind of accumulation, but this is an aluminum mold, so you won't have too much of that being an issue. I used to make an awful lot of sinkers. I don't do that as much anymore. That's because I have an awful lot of sinkers. How do you like that? Here's a big one. This one I do not have as a mold, so I'll probably wind up keeping this one. 8, 10, 12, and 16 ounce sinkers. So we're coming up on the winter fishing season. That means we're going deep. Out in the off the Atlantic coast here, we have a place called the Mud Hole. It goes down about, 200, 250 feet. You need a lot of weight with strong currents. You would be using things this size. All right, next up then is, this is your traditional bank sinker. This is in a lot smaller sizes. This goes from, looks like a 1/4 ounce up to 1 ounce in varying increments. Don't use too many of these around, but it's always good to have these. I think this is a homemade attach. It just keeps the heat from transferring off the handles and enables you to hold that. This one I find fascinating. This is buckshot. And again, I don't make any of those, but here you go. We have the slots for the buckshot crimps. And again, this is a Hiltz, and you can tell that by the handle. Next up then, these are kind of the industry standard. These are the Do-Its. This is an extra large bank model, and we have a 6 and an 8 in that. And again, some of these become redundant. I had the one over there before with the 2, 4, 6, 8 kind of setup. There's another Do-It, and this one is shad darts. So this one I might wind up keeping. I do like to pour these. And I like to just kind of play around. I'm not very good at jig tying, but I do like to try the feathers and all. And these shad darts are good for our inshore around here, so we'll get set up on these, I think, and do them. These are 1/8 of an ounce to 1/4 of an ounce, so they're kind of popular for inshore. Here's another Do-It mold, and this one is bank sinkers, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, there's some redundancy in these, and I'll probably try and find somebody who can use these. One more then on the Do-Its, and these are cannonballs. So these are 1, 2, 3, and 4 ounce cannonballs. When you mold these, they take these little metal clips, just like the pyramid sinkers do, and they get embedded into the lead as you're molding those. So I got all together. I still have some more. Look at this. All right, I love these. These are homemade kind of rigs, I think. This is for a probably tin. This feels like aluminum. This is probably for tin, a little Squidder kind of an action. Be interesting to pour this one. So I had an uncle who was a tool and die maker, and he did similar work. He built his own little jigs, and actually carved his initials into the side of it so that when the jig was produced you could see that. Here's another one, and you can see this one has a hammered effect to it. And I'm going to believe that you probably put tin in these as the metal as opposed to lead, but you could certainly put lead in there. And again, I think this is a home crafted version of this thing. And what you want to do if you have that is you obviously lock the pins into 2 holes. And then a clamp usually is a good thing to put on here before you pour. So we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 of these jigs. And then, of course, what's the jigs without some of the hardware? And that's what this was. This is a box of the hardware that goes along with the jigs. Let's see if I can show you some of the stuff that's in here. I was talking before about some of the metals. For example, these are the eyes that go on some of those bigger pyramids. We already, not that I don't have enough, we have some bank sinkers in there. Some of those smaller eyes that go in there. We have a whole host of treble hooks. Of course, they're the old ones. They're not Gamakatsu or anything. They're good old iron or steel hooks. But hey, for the price paid, right? Looks like we have some teasers, some swivels. This is probably worth the price paid for the whole thing. I got 2 of these bigger trolling lures. They're 10 ounce. There's 2 of them in here. A couple of little teaser type things and some more. And then some enamel, which is probably not good anymore. I'm looking at the bottom of it. This thing came from a company called Pearl Paint, which has been out of business for, geez, a long time now. So that's that could very possibly be the last of my garage sale finds. I'm hopeful that I may still be able to find a flea market or 2 that's open if we get some unseasonably warm weather. But in the meantime, looks like I got the makings of some winter projects here, because I can mold this stuff up and at least see what some of these designs turn out to be. And like I said, I don't generally need the sinkers in that at this point, but if I want, I can go ahead and do something like the shad darts and kind of practice some lure tying. So I think from a video standpoint, maybe we'll come back and we'll show you this. If you, a note of caution, if you do decide to go pour lead, please do it outside. Do it in the open air. Those fumes are toxic. So please protect yourself if you do wind up using molds like this. I think we will do the Squidder for sure in this basket. I think we'll do a video just to kind of highlight all of those wonderful tips and techniques that are in this. And it's not just the Garcia Mitchell. If you have a Penn catalog, the Penn will show you how to set the dog spring, for example, is in one of the typical Penn manuals. And then if I can find the handle side that's not missing on that body, then I think maybe we'll try and put this one together as well. So that's it. If you see anything in there that you'd like to know more about, please leave that as questions and leave them in the comments section. If you want to see those and more, please subscribe and then hit notifications so that you don't miss the videos that I post. And finally, if you have a reel that needs to be repaired, well, I do that by mail as well. And you can contact me with the information that's on the business card. So I hope you've enjoyed that preview. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.